Jada Pinkett-Smith. Hair, I am. I've examined Jada Pinkett-Smith at length last year as a consequence of the fallout from the infamous Will Smith slap on Chris Rock. And the evidence clearly supported that Jada Pinkett-Smith is a narcissist. That means that thereafter we're able to interpret her behaviours through the prism of her narcissism. And she's at it again. This time she pops up in the Daily Mail with an article by Alicia Stanford, which tells us Jada Pinkett-Smith says her hair is starting to grow after suffering from alopecia. Hair is acting like it's trying to make a comeback, she's quoted as saying. Hair. Everybody's got it somewhere on their body, even if you're a baldy on top. The fact is that unless, for instance, you're like Duncan Goodhue, suffered an accident, so he became entirely hairless, most people have got some down or hair somewhere on their body. And of course, for certain people, suffering from alopecia is an upsetting occurrence. But there are many people that have levelled the accusation at Jada Pinkett-Smith that she hasn't suffered from alopecia at all, and instead she just shaved her head and has then sought to draw sympathy from people by saying that she's got alopecia. Indeed, I've seen quite detailed examinations created by people arguing with force that she doesn't have alopecia, and it certainly would not be beyond the realms of possibility that a narcissist would invent an ailment for the purposes of seeking control over people and drawing sympathy. Of course, there are others who would say, oh, you can't say that about a person. That's not fair. You should always believe an individual. Well, no, you shouldn't accept anything at face value. You should test it. You should analyze it. You should determine whether what is being explained to you has veracity. As I explain to my clients, I always take them to the logic and to the evidence. It's how I function and operate, and it pays dividends. But nevertheless, Jada Pinkett-Smith evidently wants some fuel and she needs to assert control, so she's let it known that her hair's growing back. Jada Pinkett-Smith has been rocking a bald look for a while, but some changes appear to be in the works. The actress, 51, who has written a memoir of her life, shared some recent photos of herself on social media, use of social media to control, draw fuel, showing her hair has been growing back. This here hair is acting like it's trying to make a comeback. Still have some trouble spots, but we'll see, she wrote next to the set of snaps. The first photo uploaded on Instagram showed the beginnings of new growth. The Matrix Resurrections star stared into the camera, wearing a white fuzzy jacket and a diamond necklace. In the past, she has said she suffers from alopecia, but it comes and goes. Alopecia is the medical term for bald. A slight smile was on her face, highlighted by a soft pink lip. I think she means lipstick rather than just a soft pink lip, but anyway. The next photo showed slightly longer tresses, some of which had been bleached to platinum blonde. Jada blocked all comments on the post. She'll have done that to nullify threats to control, because there is a significant body of individuals that don't like her because of her behaviour, don't like her because they think that she's telling porky pies about the alopecia, and therefore what she wants to be able to do is say, look at me, my hair's growing back, but you're not allowed to comment upon it. The new growth was visible in the June 29 post on Instagram when Jada announced her new memoir, Worth, would be released in October. It was Chris Rock's poorly placed G.I. Jane jab at Jada's bald head at the 2022 Oscars ceremony which led to an infuriated Will Smith slapping the host on live TV. It was revealed after the fracas that Jada suffered from alopecia, an autoimmune condition that can lead to hair loss. According to the National Institute of Health, there is no cure for alopecia, but as long as hair follicles are not destroyed, the potential for regrowth remains. The FDA approved the use of a drug for alopecia patients in June 2022 that blocks the body's immune system from attacking hair follicles. 2 other medicines currently being used for rheumatoid arthritis and other autoimmune conditions are also seeking approval from the agency. Jada has not said anything about how the regrowth began. Maybe she's been using some secret ingredients to concoct something which she's slapped on her slapper for the purposes of inviting this growth. Maybe she's going to now launch a range of Jada Pinkett-Smith's Grow Your Hair Back potion or lotion. The actress has signed on to reprise her role as Lisa Cooper in Girls Trip 2 with pals Tiffany Haddish and Queen Latifah. The film is listed as being in pre-production on IMDb. But work on the comedy has been shut down due to the writers and actors strike in Hollywood, presumably leading Jada Pinkett-Smith to want to garner some attention by telling us all about her hair growth. Understand, this isn't done because she wants to be pleasant about it. It's not done because it's right for her to share this information. It's simply done because as a narcissist, she needs some fuel. She needs to assert control over the readership, those that see it, and for it to be picked up and placed in a national newspaper. And she needs to draw fuel from people's responses. It's also part of the management of her facade of a degree of victimhood as a consequence of the condition that she had. The point is, however, she does recognise that many people criticise her as suggesting that she made up the condition of alopecia in relation to her in order to garner fuel. Most people would see it as attention, of course, because they're not familiar with the concept of fuel. And because she's faced this criticism repeatedly, being the type of haughty and dismissive narcissist that she is, she closes down the comments to head that off. But there are comments on this article in the Daily Mail, so why don't we dive in and see what people had to say? All right, Mumcat states, if you had alopecia, the last thing you would want to do regrowing hair is stress it by bleaching it. Wits End, could it be growing back because she stopped shaving it? My son suffered from alopecia as a child. There were bald spots everywhere on his scalp, not total baldness. Daisy Duke, she never had alopecia. That was all made up for attention. She clearly had stubble in all her pics. Anything to stay in the headlines. The cynical optimist. My mother and a close friend both had alopecia, so I think I can give an informed view. This is not alopecia. PNW Local 73. She never had alopecia. It was obvious the entire time. Bambi Blows. She didn't have alopecia. Her hair fell out due to overexposure to weaves and chemical treatments to make her hair look Caucasian. It's regrowing because she left it alone to heal. Catherine Hollander. She doesn't have alopecia. She has traction baldness from decades of weaves. All that has happened is she stopped shaving it off. Sash Call. She had tension baldness caused by too many chemicals and weaves. Zoe 13. She's such a liar and a narcissist. She never had alopecia. She had what's called traction hair loss, which is due to years of wearing tight extensions and weaves. Susan Manderson. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Maybe it's because she never really had alopecia. You could always see the shadow of stubble on her head. Rendab. In other words, she's tired of shaving her head every day to pretend that she has alopecia. Atfo. Claimed to have alopecia, but she always had stubble on her hair, proving that she was choosing to shave it. B6. She complained she lost her hair, but then bleached it. Makes sense. Carrot. We are supposed to believe that she actually had alopecia, yet the first thing she does, as soon as it starts to grow back, is bleach it. Sorry, Jada, we just don't believe your latest attention-seeking. There we are. Pretty comprehensive in the comments section. Nobody believing that she had alopecia at all, and indeed many identifying that it was simply done for attention-seeking, with one commenter recognising that she's a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.